it might be nice if I actually hit the switch scene button to make it come over to my face. Hello, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. Let me go ahead and pull the chat up here real quickly. Goofy Goose, hello over there on YouTube. I appreciate you. Make sure you say hello as you come into the broadcast here. We do have multiple days of, let's say, marginal risks posted here in Kentucky for the next 3 days, I believe it is. We'll go over all that information. We'll also talk about the model data as well as what you can expect. And there are some eye-opening rainfall totals that are popping up in some of the model data now. So we're going to talk about all that good stuff. We are live on both Facebook and YouTube right now. Although for some reason I'm only getting messages from or comments from YouTube. Let me pull up the Facebook as well, just to see if it's sometimes, you know, it's just not going to work the way we want it to work. Let me. That was gonna be a bit of a Facebook echo. Hang on a second. There we go. If it's sometimes, you know, it's just not going to work the way we want it to work. Okay, so no one has commented on the Facebook yet. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure. So YouTube is where it's at this morning. Good morning to everybody. Oh, there's a comment from the Facebook. Okay, hi, Vanessa. I just wanted to make sure it was working. Of course, make sure you share the broadcast as you're coming in. Again, our pattern is flipping quite drastically, so I want to make sure everyone gets prepared and up to date on what to expect. So the best way to help us do that is by sharing it to your newsfeed on Facebook so that way your friends and family can view it, get up to date on what to expect. Charlie says Facebook is live. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate you. I'm using Restream for I've been using it for a little bit. Of course, we haven't done a broadcast in a while, so I just wanted to make sure everything was still working correctly. Sal is asking about tornadoes. We'll get into that here in just a second. Elsie, hello. How are you? All right, I'll give it about 30 more seconds because, again, we did go live pretty fast here, and sometimes the alerts go out faster or slower depending upon your connection. So I like to give it a little bit of time. Just make sure you're saying hello as we come in. We could pass some of the time together here. But, yes, we do have risks that have been posted by the National Weather Service's Storm Prediction Center for the next 3 days in Kentucky. So we're going to talk about that. And, of course, I'm going to show you the model data as well. And we're going to, yes, like Jacob said, we're going to talk about the rainfall totals. And some of them are pretty eye-opening. You know, the video we made a couple days ago, or was it yesterday? I don't know. The days are running together at this point. Either way, the videos that we did a couple days ago, that we showed the rainfall totals on, you know, there were a couple of models that were pretty aggressive, and I said, hey, I don't know if this is really going to happen, but I mean, the closer we're getting to all this stuff starting, like for example this morning, some of the models are really going aggressive on some of the rainfall totals, so I wanted to talk about those a little bit as well. But yes, we do have multiple severe alerts posted. Easton, hello. Kelly, it says Louisville EM from I've had too much sweet tea this morning. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. Listen, I was trying to get soundproof panels in here before I started the video, so hopefully it sounds a little bit less echoey. I'm still working on it. I haven't gotten all the way done, as you can see. I'm going to show you all my room. Don't make fun of the mess over there, okay? Because, again, it's a work in progress. If you are just now hopping in on the video, again, don't worry. We have not gone into anything yet. I was just buying some time for everyone to get in here, so you have not missed anything. But I got this rug down here. And then there's some soundproof panels below the desk. Can I show that without showing everything? No, of course not. But anyway, I had to put some soundproof panels below the desk because the other day when I was making those YouTube videos, the ones that we put out on our channel and on WeatherWise, you can actually hear the vibrations coming from the floor, which was kind of interesting. I've never really had that happen before. And I thought about it. That's because there's a little bit of a gap below the concrete and the slates that the building sits on. I mean, yes, we are anchored in, but still, it still has a little bit of a gap. And I think that's where the vibrations are coming from. So I was trying to help soak up some of the echo. So hopefully the echo sounds a little bit better. I'm still working on it. Again, if you are just now hopping in here, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. Many of you woke up today to a few loud bangs out there, especially if you're along the I-65 lining in central Kentucky. Quite the lightning show. I actually had one hit here just a few miles away from the house around 10:30 a.m. or so. Okay, let's go ahead and pull up the main screen here. Hello. Ashley says, how's Brandon and the baby doing? Very well. Got probably about 4 more weeks to go there. Let's go ahead and pull up our main screen here. By the way, before anyone asks, the live camera is from the City of Elizabethtown government there. They've given us access to that there, and we have some for LaRue County, but I can't get those to pull up at the moment. So, again, that camera that you're seeing there is I-65 corridor looking south, I believe, in Elizabethtown. Okay. Now that we have those bases covered, let's go ahead and look at what we're looking at here. As you can see, by the way, no active alerts in the state. Today, we do have a day, or that's tomorrow's. Let's do that correctly there. Today we do have a 1 out of 5 or marginal risk posted from the National Weather Service's Storm Prediction Center. The reason I haven't made any forecast maps on this is because I relatively agree with this so far. Monday, I might make my own forecast on because right now I don't agree with their forecast, but we'll talk about that in a second. And that happens. You're never going to see eye to eye, folks. Doesn't mean I think they're wrong. Okay, day 2. Here is the marginal risk for day 2, which would be tomorrow on Monday. I think you could argue there might need to be a yellow or slight 2 out of 5 risk in this central Kentucky area, and I'll show you why here in a moment. It's going to be really close. It just depends on how the skies are looking tomorrow morning. Here is day 3, or aka Tuesday. You can see a 1 out of 5 risk exists for southwestern Kentucky. So the one big thing I want to point out here, because we've had a lot of skepticism on whether or not people are going to see activity or rainfall, right? There's been a lot of people commenting, well, I'll wait and see. And you can do that. But one thing I want to point out here is this risk is for central northern Kentucky today, central and eastern Kentucky tomorrow, western Kentucky on Tuesday. So the big idea there is that almost everyone in the state at some point within the next 72 hours is under some sort of low-end severe risk. I know someone did ask about tornadic chances for the next couple of days. There are no tornado chances, and I don't really see that happening. If there was one to occur, it would be tomorrow, and even those chances look like close to about 0.1%. I mean, it's there's almost no spin in the atmosphere right now, so I really don't have much concern for that. The main threat is going to be damaging winds. As you can see here, we do have a 5% wind risk out that has triggered the marginal risk for these areas. I don't know why it's not letting me see day 3 on that. Usually lets me see day 3. It's not even a hail risk with this. So the main two things that you're going to see over the next couple of days or a few days in the state is going to be a lot of heavy rain and, of course, the chance for damaging winds. So I really don't think there's a massive severe risk with this. Again, we could see a few downbursts of up to 60, maybe 65 mile per hour winds. But again, that's overall, that more so impacts all the events that are going. There are a lot of events going on across the state. I have been called nonstop the last, I think, 36 hours for information, which is good for us, but bad for all the events that are going on here. By the way, here is the multi-day rainfall outlook, days 1 through 5. So this basically takes us between now and what's 5 days from now, guys? Thursday, something like that. So here's the rainfall forecast just between the next, what's that, 96, 72, 96. We'll call it 120 hours. I think I'm close. I'm not sure. Over the next 120 hours here, this little orange that you're seeing, by the way, up near Louisville and just west, and this has been shifting back and forth, is 5 inches. 4 inches for the Louisville, Radcliffe, Hardinsburg, Owensboro areas. Again, a lot of your outdoor events are going to be really soggy, really, really soggy. And it's just not going to get much better. 3 inches or so in that red area, and then kind of drops off there to 2.5, 2 for the purple, 1.5 for the light purples. But you can see the vast majority, over about 80% of the state, is in a 2 to 4 inch rainfall zone for the next 5 days. And that's really going to help our drought status. Only problem with that is, typically you wouldn't really be thinking about flash flooding in this scenario, but when the ground is so dry like it has been in some of these areas. Now, some of you have seen sporadic rain showers over the last 10 days or so. The majority of the state has not seen that. So the ground becomes almost so dry that when it does rain very heavily and very quickly like that, you can still get a flash flood scenario to set up because the grounds have not. It's almost like if you have a sponge that at one point was really wet, but has been sitting out and dry and it's crusting along your sink for the last 2 months, and you try to get it wet. It takes a minute at first, right? It takes a minute because you almost have to reignite the pores a little bit, and then they can go in. So I do have a little bit of concern in some areas if we see a really, really heavy thunder shower that we could see a brief flash flood scenario. Overall, though, I don't think it's that great of a threat. You can also see, let me see here, the excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center, day 1, day 2, day 3, and it starts creeping closer and closer to Kentucky at that point. All right, so that's your outlooks from the National Weather Service's, Weather Prediction Center and Storm Prediction Center. Let's go ahead and look at some of the model data now for you. So let's go ahead and start with today. Today, of course, as you guys already saw. Oh, by the way, I did forget to show you guys. Let me turn these off real quickly. Let's turn these outlooks off for a second. By the way, if you didn't know, on WeatherWise, the outlooks moved to the yellow burger menu, not up at the top anymore. But I do want to show you guys how much rainfall has occurred so far before I go into the model data. Morgantown to Beaver Dam, about 1 inch or so. Some of these numbers might be a little bit lighter. Sometimes these take a minute to catch up. It take a minute to catch up over what's occurred. Bowling Green, Warren County area, about a half inch or so. Northern Hardin County, Western Hardin County, about a half inch to 1 inch or so. If you were in Radcliffe this morning, you got pretty lucky. You got really close to an inch. Going toward Mount Washington in that little line there toward J-Town, almost an inch in that line, about a half inch to an inch or so. So some nice rainfalls to help alleviate some of the dryness this morning. Just wanted to show that real quickly before somebody asked. I knew someone was going to ask about that. Okay, let's talk about the model data, what we're looking at tonight, going into the next few days here. So if you're just now tuning into the video, honestly, you have not missed too much. So just buckle up here with me. Timestamps are up here in your top left, by the way. If you didn't know, 7 a.m. Central Time is 8 a.m. Eastern Time, so on and so forth. So taking you through today, let's catch us up. By the way, look at how bad the model did. This is why this caught a lot of people off guard. Look at how bad the model did. This was last night's model run for, I just want to point this out real quickly, for this morning. Did not do too well. This is supposed to be valid for right now. And you can see on the radar, it did not do too hot. This is supposed to be all the way back here. You know, we got pounded about a couple of hours ago here in Radcliffe. So, again, this is a little bit off. So, the reason I mention that is because I want you to take everything with a grain of salt. The placement of the exact storm details is not going to be 100% perfect, but just get the overall general idea of what to expect here. Models have been terrible this year, and the trend continues. Here it is, valid for 1 p.m., 2 p.m., so on and so forth. Has that line kind of reigniting a bit along the I-64 corridor, just north into northern Kentucky there. And then, of course, the southern the southern portion gets active once again towards Somerset about this afternoon. But that's pretty much it on that line there. It should start to fizzle out at some point near sunset, and that is the case here on the model data as well. As far as our overnight time frame, Sunday night going into Monday morning here, not really seeing a whole lot of activity. It's the later Monday morning going into Monday afternoon where we see some more rain showers sparking. And I have a feeling it'll look a little bit more active than this by the time we actually get to Monday around late morning going into lunchtime. This has a lot of this kind of fizzling out here. Oh, this is the older run. That's probably why, because I was like, that's not really looking correct. Let's go ahead and get this to the... There we go. I was like, man, this is really less active than what I was thinking it was going to be. But here we go. Here's the activity around the time you head out for your morning commute on Monday between 6 to 8 a.m. or so. Some nice thunder showers along and west of I-65 there. Again, this placement could be a little bit east, so just keep that in mind. As we push this forward to around lunchtime or so, stalling rain showers, mainly in the northern half of Kentucky, basically north of the parkways there. And again, here is the little severe threat for Monday. So we have a couple of cells that are popping up on the southern portions of those lines. These heavier purples do indicate some briefly rotating cells there. And again, rotation does not always mean tornado activity. And in this case, it particularly means just a higher chance of damaging winds of up to about 55 to 60 mile per hour or so. And again, that main time frame for severe weather tomorrow is going to be between about 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. But overall, it doesn't look extremely likely. We might see a few severe warnings, mainly special weather statements, which you guys know how I feel about those, but mainly special weather statements will be issued tomorrow. As I push this forward here, you'll see what I'm talking about here. More of those purples showing up on the southern half of the line, on the leading edge of the line, the backside line on the northern half here, which is Louisville to E-Town, should not be very severe. Usually that's going to be impacted by this and this, pulling all the energy away on the front edge there. So usually this northern half of the back line is not as severe as the front side or southern side. Hopefully that all made a lot of sense. Pushing this forward to around dinner time, that line kind of stretches out basically from I-75 back toward I-65 there. So Lexington, Moorhead, back over toward Bowling Green and Tompkinsville, and heading out to the east there. And then another little stalling line starts to get going late Monday night going into Tuesday morning. So again, I want to point out here for anybody that has activity going on Monday afternoon-ish to, all through Monday going into Tuesday morning, those events are likely going to be impacted, delayed, or postponed. Because, again, a lot of this will have lightning with it, guys. It's just a matter of the fact. 70 to 85 degrees in a lot of places. You're going to have lightning with a lot of these thunder showers. Matter of fact, I want to put on the lightning flash density here to just kind of show you. Here's the lightning for today. And again, the reason I'm showing the lightning at the moment is because I know we have a lot of event people in here watching. So I just want to point this out here because lightning is obviously very dangerous. A lot of these places have big stages going on, lots of big metal beams and everything going up there. So a lot of very dangerous activity. Again, here is the lightning flash density. You can see it really peaking around Louisville around 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow. And then again, on the southern side of that line that we were talking about and the front edge of that line that we were talking about, a lot of more abundant lightning toward Bowling Green, maybe the Cave area, and then going out toward Lexington. Of course, that kind of moves out. Then your overnight showers, they still have some lightning with them, so be prepared to perhaps wake up to some more lightning, Monday night going into Tuesday morning. All right, let's go ahead and go back over to the composite reflectivity and finish showing you what this looks like here. And again, the stalling showers Tuesday morning going to lead to, this is again just between now and Tuesday. And again, you can already tell it's inaccurate because remember, we showed you that Elizabethtown to Louisville has already almost an inch on the ground. So we already know that this is going to be a little bit on the lighter side than what we're actually going to see. But you can see even between now and Tuesday, some nice healthy rainfalls coming through there. What I want to do now is kind of switch over to probably the GFS model. Probably would handle this a little bit better there. Let's see what kind of rainfall totals it's looking at between now and let's say Friday or so. And you can see there, it's trying to indicate almost right there where that forecast was. A nice 2 to 4 inch band there, basically along and north of the parkways, a long I-64 corridor there, stretching in, getting very close to Louisville. So if that wiggles a little bit more to the east, you got, 4 to 5 inches going into the biggest city of the state there. But look at the entire state. Everyone gets in on it. Some people are going to be a little bit lighter, of course, but according to this model, everyone in the state by Saturday is going to see at least an inch and a half of rainfall. And that is great, great news. Even if it's only an inch and a half, that helps tremendously. Here is the European model. It shows everyone. I mean, look at that. Now, again, this is a lot more on the aggressive side, but you guys kind of saw it there on the HRRR model. If we get those stalling showers overnight each night, along with storm activity in the afternoon of the next 3 days, you're going to see some more of the healthy rainfall totals. So again, this is trying to show a nice 4 to 6 inch rainfall line from E-Town back toward Brandenburg, Hardinsburg, going over toward Owensboro, and then another little 5 to 6 inch slot down there for southwestern Kentucky, where they have been extremely dry. And even in the city, it's trying to show on the southern side of the city of Louisville there, 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. And then over here towards Somerset and Bowling Green. So again, on this model, the minimum is 2.2 inches. So let's go ahead and look at a different model real quickly, just to kind of give you, I want to give you all the ideas. Here is the Icon model's rainfall totals over the next 7 days or so. And look at it. It's very similar to the European model, just a tad more south. But that's actually really good agreement there. I mean, to get two models have an agreement on rainfall totals over the next 6 to 7 days, only being off by a few miles there, that's not bad. So you're looking at the potential for a wide swath of Kentucky, somewhere between the I-64 corridor and the parkways to the south there, maybe picking up 3 to 6 inches of rainfall over the next 6 to 7 days. I mean, you really can't argue about that. I know a lot of people don't like the rain, but guys, let's face it, we need it. I don't care if you like it or not. We need the rainfall bad, very bad. So the rainfall totals look really good. Really healthy. Majority of that, by the way, I do want to tell you. Let's go ahead and just look real quickly so I can double check myself. The majority of that looks to fall somewhere between Thursday and Friday. And yeah, that does look to be the case still. So here is Thursday and Friday. I do want to point out they'll probably get a little bit of a break Wednesday. Nah, I lied because apparently that has changed. Look at just a blanket of rainfall. It's nothing too incredibly crazy, but it's just constant, steady rainfall. Absolutely what we need. So we just went over Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Let's look at Wednesday here. Wednesday, we have rainfall. Oh, there's the low pressure. It's stalling right around western Kentucky, so it's just going to shove rainfall. Look at the central Kentucky area Wednesday night around dinner time. Just pound it with rainfall. And again, this could be a little bit inaccurate on the exact placement of this. It could be a little bit west, a little bit east. You guys get the point. But just overall, the general theme here is lots and lots and lots of rainfall. Here's the new low pressure getting attached from that short wave there. Just kind of partnering up with that energy. Now it's going to reignite some rainfall for Thursday. So you guys kind of get the idea. Between the overnight hours, we're going to see some steadier rainfalls. In the afternoon hours, we might see more sporadic rainfalls or more scarce rainfalls, but they're going to be heavier. So you kind of get the idea there. And that theme sticks with us between now and about Friday. Next Saturday is when things begin to really clear out. Here's actually Saturday at 1 a.m. Model stops right there, but you can see it's much more clear at that point. And we are just left with some really nice temperatures all week because, again, I do want to touch base on the temperatures. When you have that much rain and cloud coverage, we're not going to get very warm all day or all week. We're just not. By the time we actually clear out, It's going to be warming up just a little bit for a few days, and then by the time October enters the calendar book, we're actually going to get a nice little cold front moving through. So really, really nice, kind of change of pace here for us. I do want to give you a real quick message from our sponsors real quickly, if you guys don't mind, and then we'll be right back to answer some more of your questions. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you to our sponsors, Hyper Roofing. If you're in or around Hardin County, make sure you get your roof checked out before we head into the second severe season. You guys know it always happens in the fall and winter time. Make sure you get that roof checked out. Don't be reactive, be proactive. Hyper Roofing, there'll be a link to it down in the description below the video. Bright Implement is a legendary Kentucky company that's been around for decades. Make sure you go check them out if you have any outdoor equipment or apparel needs, and they're always running discounts. I could add all of them in here, but they always have so many things going on, changing each month. Make sure you just go check out their social medias and see what they have to offer you, or stop in a store at any of their 15 locations. Once Upon a Child in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and on Outer Loop in Louisville, Kentucky, once again, like Bright Implement, has a lot of deals going on. We have posted their calendars, and I'll add it into the video here for you to see. And again, just another great business that's family owned and operated, and just a people that you want to support. Don't forget, you can sell your clothes back to them as well. The same thing can be said for Plato's Closet in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, owned by the same folks. Another phenomenal place for you to save money on shopping for clothes, or go take advantage of clothes that you don't use anymore and sell them back for some cash to help get you some groceries or anything else you might need. Hey, listen, it's hard out here. It's hard out here right now. Take advantage of that. Again, that's Plato's Closet in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. FBI Buildings is new to Kentucky, but they're not new to building pole barns, buildings, residential and commercial, so on and so forth. They also offer free estimates, and they have a large team of really phenomenal engineers. Make sure you take advantage of that free estimate and think of FBI Buildings for any of your projects or renovations or remodels. Thank you to FBI Buildings. You can head to FBIbuildings.com for that free estimate. Thank you to all of our sponsors, but now let's get back into the video. See, that wasn't too bad. So many people, I mean, I try to keep it under 2 minutes there. It was a minute 40. That wasn't too bad. Thank you guys to all of our sponsors, by the way. They're who make us, I can't talk this morning. I don't even know why I keep trying. They're the reason we can be here for you guys 24/7. So thank you to all of our sponsors. Again, thank you to Right Implement, FBI Buildings, Once Upon a Child, Plato's Closet, and Hyper Roofing in Hardin County and Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Thank you so much to all those folks. We appreciate them. Okay. Let's get to a few of your questions now at this point. Krista says that's too much rain. We need a little rain, but not a lot, or a swamp of rain. Quite frankly, we need about 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, most of the folks in the state, and that's going to be what we're going to get for a lot of folks. So I think it looks right on for what we need for a lot of the areas, like I mentioned. Let me see here. Dude, why does my computer keep doing that? I'm going to actually lose my mind. I just want to let you guys know this. Let's see. How does Ashland, Kentucky look today? Again, not a real severe risk for you. I don't really see a whole lot of activity for you besides just some rainfall. That's window opening temps. Yeah, if it wasn't so humid, I actually just had to order some of those humidity bags. If you guys don't know, if your guys' house gets a little bit sticky from all the humidity, you can get these damp rid, I think is what they're called. And they work beautifully. I got to put some out here because when I'm running the AC out here in the building, it brings all the moisture in it. And like this morning, I came out here and it was humid. Nancy, Kentucky for today. Looking at some more thunder shower activity, probably in about an hour and a half or so. I'm not really seeing much of a severe risk. Guys, I just want to point out real quickly, I am going to answer your questions, but I want to point out real quickly, a lot of your answers are going to be very similar because there really isn't that much of a severe risk today. The only real severe risk is brief damaging winds, and we're probably only going to see 2 or 3 of those warnings. I'm not expecting a whole slew of damaging wind outbreak here. The same answer can be said for Clay County. Yeah, I have a dehumidifier on the AC. I just haven't used it yet because honestly, I keep forgetting it has it. I keep forgetting it has it. Yeah, I just answered Clay County, so hopefully you heard that. I'm so thankful for this rain. My plants and grass are struggling. Yes, indeed. I can't tell you. I don't know if you guys can see. I mean, I'm sure you guys can see because you're outside all the time, but I can't tell you. Don't pay attention to my mess over there. I have to move everything. I don't know if you could see, but my tree there can't decide whether it wants to live or die. And I feel bad. Don't pay attention. I hear one comment, or I see one comment about that mess over there. I'm going to lose it because I had to move everything because the rug that I just put in here did not want to go in. So I had to scoot everything in the corner. It was not a fun time this morning. I'm assuming you mean Paintsville, Kentucky, Vivian. Again, I do think you're likely going to see some rain at some point, but the severe risk probably just is not there for today. Hodgenville, you're going to see some rain, thunder showers here in a few moments. If you actually, you're already seeing it right now. Should be out of your area here soon. Some more sporadic thunder shower risk this afternoon. Someone's dog is going nuts. Okay, I think we're good there. I'm going to get back to working on some of these forecasts, and football starting soon here. So I'm going to get back to work on Don't Leak. Dude, my comments must be very far behind because a lot of your comments are coming in so delayed. I got to look at that. I need to do some. I need to do some tweaking to some of these settings here and see what we can do to maybe speed up my response time for you guys. Because I promise I'm answering a lot of your questions, but they're coming in so slow. Okay, so anyway, that's going to do it for us here. But before I hop off real quickly, I do want to show you guys this I just saw on the radar here. You do have a stronger storm now heading northeast of Frankfort, heading towards Sadieville, maybe up toward Dry Ridge and Owenton and Barry, just north of Cynthiana there. So just keep an eye if you're in northern Kentucky. Nice little strong cell trying to get in your area there. If you're in Somerset, a nice, why is that right in the middle? Let's pull that down a little bit. If you're in Somerset area just south there, nice little strong baby cell there. Other than that, just rain showers that are now beginning to fade. That will lead to thunder showers this afternoon as that outflow boundary reignites. Pro Ranger says, your predictions for winter, do you think it could be mild and wet or cold and fluffy? We will answer those questions on our winter cast. So we do a winter cast each year, if you guys do not know. Usually comes out between Thanksgiving and Halloween. The first edition, the second edition comes out between Thanksgiving and Christmas. As for now, I'm not ready to make any of those predictions yet because, quite frankly, it's just too early. It's just too early. Guys, it's still 90 degrees outside in a lot of places. So anybody that tells you that they know what's happening is full of you-know-what at this point. Now, we can see some trends, and I do have some. I've started some digging on some analog years to compare to our patterns for this year, as well as sea surface temperatures, jet streaks, El Nino patterns, La Nina patterns, so on and so forth. I've done a lot of that good stuff, but as far as actually being able to get to a point to where I'm making a prediction, we're not there yet. We are not there yet. Okay, that's going to be all for today, unless I need to come back on later on for severe weather. I will update you guys, of course, throughout posts on our Twitter and Facebook pages. Until then, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. Thank you so much for tuning into this broadcast. Stay safe.